everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new sci-fi movie dropped on Netflix called Mother/Android, and this movie starring Chloe Grace Moretz, Algie Smith, and this movie is directed by Mattson Tomlin. So in this movie, we see this movie takes place in a near future where Georgia in this movie, she finds out that she's pregnant, she's gonna have a baby, and the minute she finds out that she's gonna have a baby, then the same time looks like in near future where all the robots were doing all the labor job there and for less money, and the minute she finds out that news, all these robots, they go on strike or something. They go basically this is kind of like a robot apocalypse world where these robots are taking over the world. They're killing all the human and the human has nowhere to go. So in this movie we see Georgia, actually she's trying to have this baby and she's trying to go to Boston, and from there she's planning to send her kids to somewhere far away in Korea in this movie, so where this problem doesn't exist. So how she gets there, that is this movie is about. So when I saw this movie, or should I say when I saw the little teaser for this movie, I was expecting this movie to be actually very interesting and good, because it's a sci-fi movie and the premise for this movie definitely sounds interesting, that I had definitely high hope for this movie. But unfortunately this movie is so boring when you watch it. Nothing really happened. The whole movie you just spend your time with Georgie and Sam, and Georgie was actually about to break up with him, and that time she finds out that she is actually having a baby with him. The whole movie you see there is a back and forth between these two characters, and like she's like 9 months pregnant, she's trying to go a place, and there's a lot of walking for her in this movie. When you see it, you're like, how she's doing all this thing in this condition? She should not able to do any of this thing. On top of it, in this movie, it's so boring. On top of it, it's in this movie, Georgia, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, which is very charming person. All the movies she was in, I have seen her. She's actually very sweetheart type actress. In this movie, her character was so unlikable. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, and the same guy, he's too nice in this movie. I was like, oh my god, he's too nice and she's too mean to him. And I'm like, this movie is really nothing happened, especially first half an hour, just them walking around in the jungle. Obviously, how much did this movie cost to make? Is it $10,000? That is what it felt like when you were watching. You were like, ooh, because they are in this movie, like they're just in the jungle. It's like it's kind of those movie you have seen, like zombie movie. You know how zombies taking over and they kind of comes and attack you. Similar like a concept here. Obviously, this center line is about a mother. I don't know, what was I thinking? I thought it was going to be interesting with some like idea or something, like she will have this baby and baby will do something. Nothing like that. Unfortunately, this movie was such a disappointing. I was shocked actually how this movie was made. Although at first I thought, is it Netflix made movie? But it's not actually. I don't think this movie cost a lot of money, and I definitely couldn't believe how bad this movie was. Unfortunately, this movie did had very interesting promise. They didn't deliver the promise it was going for. Probably I think it was the budget. It was just in them walking around the jungle, and some of the characters do show off halfway through the movie. None of these characters are likable in this movie. That you cannot like root for them to stay alive or die. Like you just don't care about them. That's how they were written in this movie. Overall, this movie was like, I really bet I'm watching it. Anyway, that was my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie. And if you checked my review, don't forget to check out my other reviews on Netflix movie. Please take care and subscribe.